And now we're recording. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode numero uno. For the 5th and 1,000th time. I don't care if it's in my face, Hunty. I'm not doing this podcast again. I like fidgeting with it, okay?
So, welcome back.
You see we're a little frustrated here, but...
Yeah. We're just a tad frustrated. We've had technical difficulties. We've had animal control come in.
yeah, the dog cages.
Yeah. We've had a Hunty over here forgetting to click record. So we talked to nobody. It's all good. This is Switching Gears. Welcome back. This is going to be something...
Back after a year.
After a year, there's going to be something new. Something new. It's not the old Switching Gears. It's the new Switching Gears. Shout out Alex. We have new equipment. These new mics. Lots of money. We're not going to be able to afford a Call of Duty team, but...
It's all good.
At least we sound good.
You got us.
You got us. So, yeah, welcome. Dude, we've been gone for a while.
Gone for a while, man. And this podcast is just completely different. I feel like we could talk shit. It's no problem. But the thing is, like, I feel like the last one was just a talk show. You guys are so formal. It was good. It was really, really good. The production was good. It's just, I didn't feel, like, laid back. And I feel like that's what podcasts are.
It didn't feel like us.
It didn't feel like, yeah. Well, I wasn't in there, but...
Yeah. Well, we wanted Alex in there, but he was a little camera shy.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Because he's been drinking a lot of liquid courage. So, water, obviously.
Liquid courage, yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be way different. This podcast, we're still going to call it Switching Gears, right? I like the name.
I'm down. Yeah.
The main thing about this podcast is going to be different, though, is we really want to, like, be us. And go back to where, like, what the core of Sixth Gear was, which is obviously esports. You know, we were in it for the love of video games from childhood till now. And we really want to have this podcast and, like, talk about everything esports from, like, players' perspectives, our perspectives as brand new org owners and have other org owners. The mental health aspect of being a professional esports player, that's huge. Like, no one talks about that. Yep. And it's rough. It's rough out there. I can't imagine how these young men, fucking young women, play 13, 14 hours, and you know how it affects them psychologically. And then we're just gonna also kind of talk shit and have fun, have people around Orlando. Cause not from Orlando, but Sixth Gear is based in Orlando, so we're gonna have people from Orlando, and be authentic. We're not gonna diddle daddle, waste anyone's time, and on top of that, be honest with you, Alex. You know what we're talking about next episode?
No, I don't even know what we're talking about this episode. So
facts. So that's kind of what we're doing. But we do know we're going to talk about esports. We're going to have kind of a theme to each episode-ish. But essentially, we want this to be unscripted and fun and us. So, exactly. Yeah.
I agree. I'm excited for this. Like I said, I really want this to be a platform for esport owners to kind of share their opinion and voice, because to be honest, you get fucked by a lot of things like COD League and players kind of, there's no salary cap, so they're just asking for a tremendous amount of money.
Yeah, you don't even want to get me started, bro.
It's just, yeah, as you can tell, we have a lot of things to talk about. But aside from the negatives, yeah, I want a lot of esport players to come here, and if it's Zoom or in person, and really talk about their stance and what they go through every single day and what they're experiencing. So
I'm with it. The big thing for me, I kind of want to start this by kind of saying, like, hey, me and Alex, we're the owners of Sixth Gear. Obviously, if you're watching this, you probably know that already. We started this obviously because we love esports. We have a whole little documentary, but the documentary, not that it was scripted, but it was kind of scripted. But we were two young men out of college, working jobs, not really enjoying life, right? Not really. There was no chutzpah, you know. It's like we something was missing, something that we could be passionate about and go after. And we were doing what we always do after work: crack open a few brews, jump on Apex.
Yeah. Corporate life, can't wait to go home.
Exactly. And hop on Discord with the boys and play Apex and just have a good time. And we were there, and me and Alex were talking. And one day, this is out of nowhere, he was like, "Hey Jay, you want to start an esports org?" I was just like, I mean, I have no idea what the fuck that means, but I'm down. And Alex kind of sent me like videos of different esports orgs. He sent me like the best of the best, right? Like 100 Thieves, FaZe Clan. And then he sent me something like the more like smaller guys. And I was like, yo, we could do this.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. And like what made it beautiful was that in college, I was very much in the like entrepreneurship, business, marketing, sales, right? That was kind of like my thing. And Alex was always a very competitive gamer. And he brought all of us into it, actually, all our friends. He's the one really, he's like the guy who brought all of us together to competitive game and like follow this scene. So like, it was like a match made in heaven. I kind of had that experience. He had this experience and we like came together.
Yep.
So we did that, and fast forward 2 years now,
About to be 2 years, man.
about to be 2 years we're inactive, obviously because of COVID. That's like a kind of a bullshit excuse. Everyone can say, "Hey, COVID," but it was. I mean, we were in like transitional periods of our life that we had to just take a break.
I think we needed to take a break on Sixth Gear in particular because we tried to do way too many things too fast. We kind of lost our identity, and we just got lost. And
100%.
I think the best way to kind of cure that was to pull the plug. When I did that video, it was like very tough to drop everyone.
Yeah.
We've grown close to a lot of these players, so.
So it's funny. I'm laughing because the dogs. We have our dogs outside like playing.
Oh wait, it's right there.
And they were hopping up. Luna was hopping up behind you. Yo, hey, you better in the video. You better fucking put a pointer at her.
Oh, it's like in the camera.
No, I told you we were gonna need animal control here. Hey, quiet on set. But yeah, we really like lost. This is like us. Like we're just bullshitting at this point. Like, but we're having a good time. Where we're speaking facts from our point of view, and but we lost our identity. We were like we wanted to do every opportunity that was kind of given to us. We were like, yes, right. Rainbow Six, Apex, Call of Duty, Fortnite. Content creators, podcasts, vlogs, whatever. Like we tried to do everything, and we did not like we did everything 100%. But by doing that, we kind of lost that core value. And I think the real like times like our core value, which like what me and Alex are like, everyone kind of says, oh yeah, loyalty, family, but like all of us, like our close friends, it's like, I don't even know, like 8 of us. Half of them I've known my whole life. The other half my life, right? Like we're so close knit, and we're like the same group of guys, and that's kind of what we carried to the esports. And that's one thing, if Alex, you want to touch on, I know because you kind of had a experience as a player, right? Like not feeling like a home.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest issue when I was coming into this. I was like, I feel like when I was competing, I literally felt like if I did not play well, you're out of there. There was no connection. It was just asking for a salary or just getting an org just to have an org. You don't play well, the org owners just pull you out, and you have to go start again. And I wanted like 6K to be that change in the COD community, to have that change.
Yeah.
For them to call home, and even if they don't place well, they could still be here and create their brand, individual brands, while we create our brand as well. So, yeah, that's why you see a lot of familiar faces over time.
Yeah. So we definitely like switched our teams a lot. I don't want to like jump ahead of the gun because we're obviously talking about some things, but yeah, basically, myself and Falcon came into this, and our biggest thing was family. Like we want to make sure that whoever even just engages with us, even if someone sees us on the street, hey, I've seen your vlog once. I want that person to feel, hey, those guys treated me like they've knew me forever. And because that's just how we are. And so that's kind of what we lost by doing so much. We kind of got caught up in the corporate YouTube, right? Like hey, welcome back to the vlog. Let me do my hand thing to the camera and like subscribe. Like
you know what it was? I think we took ourselves way too serious.
Facts.
And unfortunately, it took a while to realize that, but we took ourselves way too serious. Like the documentary was like some big production. It was really nice at the time, but just took ourselves way too serious. And I feel a lot of organizations that are coming up that do that, there's no like relatability,
100%,
transparency with these organizations. And I really wanted to make that change this go around.
That's kind of there's a couple of things we're changing, a couple of things we're going to keep the same. A couple of things we're going to keep the same. The way we treated our players, right? The way we went about like the projects that we did do, everything was 100% full of like passion. But this time around, we're going to make sure it feels like home, right? It feels like when you're watching it, like you're sitting here next to us. That's kind of the vibe, you know? Like that's what we want to. And if we're not doing that, shit, hopefully someone tells us, because I want, accountability, right? But I digress. So basically, me and Alex came into this shit, right?
Didn't know anything.
For anyone out there, I'm 25. He's 25. For anyone out there who wants to start that little business, right, for jewelry or clothes, or they wanna do a little Amazon partner, right? They wanna Uber, they wanna whatever it is.
Anything you do, you gotta take that leap.
Take the leap, because guess what? When me and Alex came into this, we knew nothing.
Nothing.
Squat. All we knew is we loved esports, and we knew there was money in it, right? We can make money off something we love doing. We're like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
It's worth it.
But we made a lot of mistakes. We continued to make mistakes. But the one thing that me and Alex, we're very humble in our victories, but we're even more humble in our defeats. Because a lot of times, like Alex would say, hey, Jay, this guy is the best player here. This guy's the best player here. And it turned out it wasn't. And I went to Alex and said, hey, man, next one up.
Yeah.
Find the next guy. And then there was times that I had deadlines to meet with certain contracts, or we had business meetings with sponsorships, and I didn't do that well, right? I didn't come prepared with the proper information. And Alex would say, hey, Jay, next one up. And that's kind of how we built from there. And then we ended up with a phenomenal team because of Alex's connections with Vinny.
Yeah. To Minnesota in January. That was a fun trip. We were like 10 squad deep. Our content creators, vloggers, everything.
Dude,
that was a good trip. We didn't really place well, but we experienced. That was our first tournament, and
it was our first experience of the COD community, the COD League itself.
Yeah.
First event, like a real event. I had never met Alex. Knew Vinny from back when Alex used to play, like when the dinosaurs walked.
Yeah, exactly.
So I kind of came. We all went there, and we met the team. It was Fastballer.
It was Fastballer, Vinny, Hamza, Willett,
and Joe. And we really didn't know much, but they kind of told us, hey, we didn't give them expectations, but they were like, hey, we're gonna get T16 100% guaranteed.
The worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario, T16, but we're gonna do better. Because they've been doing phenomenal in scrimmages and a bunch of stuff. And I was like, hey, man, we really went for the experience.
I went to just meet org owners, to
sponsorships,
yeah.
to get good content and meet these guys and just be there. Bro, the energy, right?
True.
The energy. I remember sitting.
That's so much. Land is just a different.
Oh, it's a different beast. And so we were at this event, and yeah, first day went phenomenal, right? We were all there. We were winning. We were sweeping teams.
Yeah, we won our first 2 matches during the day. And then that was it. It's a huge tournament. So
I thought it was 3 matches.
It was 3, I think so.
I think it was 2. It was 1.
We had good seating, so we play like not the best people. So
yeah,
the first 3, the first 2, and the first day was pretty easy. We expected to win. I knew our hard match was going to be the second day. So and then we went to that team dinner, and it was just
at the end of the first night.
Yeah, it was such a pain to get Fastballer to come for 30 minutes.
Oh, Fastballer. You're a different breed. For anyone who knows Fastballer, this goes without saying. The guy is a different breed. He's his own person. I've never met anyone like the kid.
Yeah.
Listen, to get this guy, he was our team captain, right? To get this guy to come to a dinner with us. First of all, the only way to find Fastballer is to find Joe Dirt.
I don't know how you remember Joe Dirt.
Because it's ingrained in my bro, I'd be like, Alex, the whole team's here. Where's Fastballer? Yo,
Joe Dirt.
Hey, anyone see Joe Dirt? Yeah, he's over there. Fastball is right next to him. Yeah. And it was like, so we wanted a team dinner, and we're like, yo, fucking come. And I give it to him. He's a business. He was there on a business trip. He was there to win a championship or hang out with Joe Dirt. That's it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Hey, respect to him.
Well, I can't even tell you the shopping list because we got groceries for all the players.
Oh, of course.
Anything they needed. And I was like, just let me know. Give me a long list. I don't care the price. This guy, like Joe was like, yeah, hand warmers, maybe a drink, a Gatorade. Vinny was like some Diet Coke because he's a crackhead. He drinks like 4 Diet Cokes before.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how they do that.
I don't know either. But Fastball, it was like this long of a list of protein shakes, bars for this time.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a businessman. But
yeah, he had like scheduled eatings, how much water you drink. Like when they'd go to the bath, I was like, yo, this man is on him. Hey, it is what it is.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, right? So then the next day we wake up, high hopes, right? We're competing against one of the top European teams, for a French team.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was either the second or yeah.
Yeah, that was the second day. It was the first match of the second day. Yeah. Or was it? Yeah, I think it was.
They were both European teams. So that's probably where you're getting confused. So we played the first match on the second day. We lost against a really good European team.
That's the French team.
Yeah, either the French team.
It was for sure the French team because I remember they were talking shit in French.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It didn't go well. Remember that first hard point? We were up like 230.
Nah, I didn't want to
80?
talk about it, bro.
Bro, we had like 1 point to go to win, and we choked. They came back at a 120-point lead. You can't make this
You can't make it up.
can't
I'm telling you, God had a plan for us. We were meant to lose that event.
Oh, 100%.
We were meant to lose that event.
Basketball is monitor, like crash mid-game.
Like it was not meant for us to win, and it was crazy because actually, after we lost that map, there was a commotion. Right?
'Cause his monitor.
Well, no. I'm talking about. Remember, there was another team playing, and there was a huge commotion, and it ended up. I walked over there, and I heard people speaking in Portuguese.
Oh yeah.
And I came up to you. I said, "Hey,
That's where it
started. That's where I planted the seed in Alex's head."
Hi, Eli.
My roommate's here. How you doing? So that's where we planted the seed to get a Brazilian team because Alex really wasn't bout, but I was bout. So I heard these
I
guys.
didn't even know. Well, first of all, that was the biggest thing. I didn't even know Brazilian players were playing in the North America.
Yeah, I mean, me neither. Until I heard them screaming, and like they were like a very low seed, like dark horse, and they were just doing well.
They placed better than us. They got T32.
Yeah, and so basically we ended up losing. We went to the losers bracket. We lost that, and it didn't go well. Right? You have Joe Passionate was crying because he was like, we did awful. Fastballer like disappeared. We didn't know where he went. Hamza was upset because Hamza holds himself to a high standard.
It was like a blessing and a curse. It really gave us an opportunity to really show who we were. Because the team was in terrible morale, and we could either go on both two ways. We could just say, shake hands, be like, all right, see you later, or really try to get the team together and figure it out as a team, as a family. And I think that's what we tried to do, but then everyone went home and it didn't work out.
Yeah, basically Alex had called me, and he was at the hotel where all the COD players were staying. He was like, hey, like, let's go up. The team, we're going to have a team meeting. I was like, okay. So we went up there. We didn't really know what we were going to say. I didn't even know what we were walking into. We didn't know if there was beef or if they...
The players were definitely fighting with you.
Right, yeah. So I didn't really know. So we walked in, and I remember everyone was on their beds, and I started by saying, hey, listen, number one, I don't care where you guys ranked. I literally do not care.
No, I didn't care either.
Me and Alex said, do you guys feel you could have done better? Was this your best performance? And they were like, absolutely not. And we were like, okay, we want to keep the team together.
You run it back?
Run it back. Well, at that moment, we were like, we'll sign this team for the year.
Yeah.
Because that's how much faith, because Hamza and these guys looked at us in our eyes as men and said, this was not our best. We will do better. That's all I need to hear. You have nothing else to prove. And so we sat there and I kind of, like, we did a little therapy session with all the players and we kind of like worked through it. And we were like, hey, we want to run it back. And I think I know Hamza and Joe and Vinny wanted to run it back. I think Fastballer was the one who was like, not bout. Which fine, that's
once he left, because everyone was bout at the time. The heat of the moment. But then everyone got home and the Fastballer was like, no, I don't want to do this. And then that just the whole team went away. But
and so that kind of ended up Minnesota trip. And so we were like, holy shit, big investment, that's whatever. And we left without a team. That was like a heartbreak for us. We're like, wow, we have a lot of faith in these guys. And
like this documentary that we did there, we did like constant surrounded around them. Like
exactly.
That was my biggest thing. My goal coming into this is to have one team for the rest of the year and
a story
and like really, yeah, exactly. Have a story around these guys. And the fact that we had one tournament and they all just leave us, like, man, that was definitely rough on us.
That was our first taste of
community.
The roster roulette, I like to call it. The roster roulette.
Wild Wild West.
It's the Wild Wild West. The amateur community is the Wild Wild West of COD. And I know a lot of org owners can probably attest to this. It's tough out there. We really don't get a lot of. I don't want to be in bad standing with the COD League, but look, we have to say some of the shit. You know, we don't really get access to any sponsors. There's not really rules or guidelines for the amateur teams, right? So everyone's kind of creating their own rules. And so sometimes you have teams who come in the middle of the season who are really wealthy, have big investors, and they just say, okay, we want the best players, we'll pay you X amount per.
Tournament, get the exposure and leave. And it just saturates organizations like us, Team War, UIU. It just saturates. It makes
it doesn't build what people watch sports for.
Right.
Whether it's football, basketball, esports, it's all the same. It's that the rivalries, the energy in the building, the same characters you see play against each other, right? The stories that evolve from the beginning of the season to the end. And what we were seeing was teams, you had your staples, right? You had the guys like we looked up to, Timor, UIU, right? We would see these guys, were like, that's who we want to be. Yeah. They had the same guys always, right? They were consistent. Their content was consistent. And they were solid organizations. Right. And then you just had a bunch of other people who would skate. Okay, we want this player this week. We want this guy. And then our players would be like, hey, these guys are getting paid more because they told us in a scrimmage. Mm-hmm. Okay. And there wasn't really like, it's hard to say, go other orgs and say, hey, stop paying the players so much. Like, let's all kind of come.
Yeah, I mean, we tried doing that before. I mean, we should probably attempt it again. Is to really create a union or just get all the like top AM organizations together and really figure this out and have actual set rules and a structure like any other.
It's not like rules. 'Cause I don't want like anyone to think like, hey, you can't do this.
Oh, right.
But it's more like
guidelines.
It's guidelines to uplift. It'd be guidelines and things we want from the COD League, right? The couple guidelines, right? If you shouldn't be allowed to join mid-season, right? And I'm talking like for the top 8. Obviously for amateurs, for like people who want to play in the Atlanta FaZe event as an amateur team, yeah, if they're hometown people, 100%.
Right.
But like if you're in that top 8 elite, right? You should like, hey, I'm gonna play for the whole year. I'm paying for a team for the whole year. We're locking our spot in. Obviously, if you're good enough.
It's just like the college. You pay for your spot.
You pay for your spot, right? And it should be, hey, we're going to be with the amateur team. So then not only could the COD League build their story around the pro teams, but then you have
it helps them expose us.
Exactly. And then I mean, granted, we literally like, for example, Alex has a great eye for talent, right? Before the Minnesota tournament, I had no idea who any of these players were. I didn't watch amateur COD. I barely even watched pro COD. I was just getting into the scene. Alex religiously watched it. And he came up to me and said, hey, we're about to secure an amazing team.
Yeah.
I'm like, if they're so amazing, why don't they have a player? Why don't they have contracts yet? And they're like, because no one knows they're amazing. He was like, there's this one kid, Joe Awakening. He was like, this kid.
I saw in that guy. I was like, that's.
No, I'm like getting goosebumps because he looked at me in my face. He said, Jay, this is going to be the best player in the pro league. I promise you by the end of the year. I was like, all right, bro. Like, of course I'm a skeptic. And lo and behold, look at, I don't have to tell you now. Yeah. Joe's killing it. And we knew, and we'd always sit with Joe, because he's a quiet guy, very reserved. And we're like, dude, you're amazing. Like, you are so talented. And Alex got that. There was another kid in Rainbow Six that you said the same thing. And another Fortnite guy. I forgot who it was. But you have an eye for talent. But, yeah. So the COD League, basically, we have developed already 2 or 3 players who can play in the pro league.
Yeah.
What do we get out of it?
Nothing.
Zilch. I'm not saying we need anything, but like the COD League can definitely say, hey, come before the events and meet the sponsorships, right? Meet the sponsors. I'm not saying give us sponsorships or give us money. No, just access. Give us the chance.
I mean, the biggest problem, especially for Modern Warfare season, they didn't support us at all when it comes to exposing, and it really hurt us because we spent thousands of dollars to go to these events. Yeah. In Atlanta, we couldn't even stay behind our players. We couldn't even.
Oh, at the event.
Yeah, you know how we live streamed it, and even if I got behind our players, I would do Twitter live stream.
Yeah.
And some fan actually made a Twitch live stream just because so many people wanted to watch the top 4 teams play. We were in the top 6, and so it was a mess. It's just not fair. And I think the best solution for that is to all come together and really speak to the COD League and figure out a good solution.
Oh, 100%. Because it's like basic guidelines. It's stuff that would just only benefit the amateur league and benefit the pro league.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the COD League did actually get better in the Cold War. They had
I didn't watch.
Yeah, they have their own separate stream, so it's definitely better. Let's see how it goes with Lance, because that's the biggest thing. That's where he gets the most numbers.
And one person, we had actually approached Surge, War Surge, with this idea of starting like a players union, right? The same thing they have in the NBA, NFL, in regards to like trying to ask the Call of Duty leagues, hey, look, we want more support because we support you guys. We're the ones bringing all the eyes. We're developing the future generation of COD players. All these guys have to come through us to get to the pro league, and we have hopes of getting into the pro league, right? It's like we hope that they can offer us a way of like, hey, this is a way of maybe one day reaching the pro league. But it is what it is. That's not all bad. They phenomenal prize pools. The events were amazing.
Yeah, there's nothing like Call of Duty.
No, absolutely nothing. And Atlanta was a fucking phenomenal trip.
Phenomenal team. I mean, we had the Brazilian team. We didn't really touch on the Brazilian team. I miss those guys so much.
Oh my God,
they're doing well. With Cold War, they did a really good season, but unfortunately, we had to drop him because we pulled the plug with 6 gear for a year.
That was heartbreaking.
But yeah, we had what it was 10 people in that. Well, 10 players, and they had us. It's like 16 people in this Airbnb, and it was just an amazing time. We got Hamza talking to the Brazilian players. Like they were just like the Brazilian players were asking these top North American colleague amateur players, like, "Hey, what do we do here?" It was just so like humbling to see that, and we were like, we set it all up, and it was just a great experience.
I think that like reminds me of like a good memory. I think you were cooking. We have a lot of funny stories from Atlanta.
I cook like 20 million eggs.
This is a couple of funny stories. Number one, we booked like a 3-story Airbnb for all the players just because we got a Brazilian team, because I'm Brazilian for like context. And I had met the ones I talked about in Minnesota. Me and Alex DM'd them and say, hey, listen, we're really interested. And they were like ecstatic. And it worked out because then I could communicate with them. I sent them the contracts in Portuguese. And we got this house to get all our, it was a similar team, but we, instead of Fastballer, Gintroid.
Yeah, Gintroid.
And instead of Vinny, it was,
man. I'm drawing blank.
My boy, Kaiser, who tried to play me in basketball.
Oh, yeah. That was a fire YouTube. That's one of my favorite vlogs.
Yeah. So we had a great group. Again, we had the core 3 that were like our family: Hamza, Awakening, and Willett, who we supported, and they knew that they had our support regardless. And then we had the Brazilian team, and then we had a couple of content creators, and we all went to this trip. And a beautiful moment he just reminded me was, not only did we bought groceries for everyone. We did team dinners. We bought the fights. Remember, Wilder and Fury fought. But we also brought our own personal setups. Everyone, like me, Hunter, Alex, we brought our personal setups. So then not only could they play the night before, between matches when we take them back and forth, they can still play and they can strategize and keep warm the whole day, not just wait, because you can't really warm up when you get to the matches, because you have like
you warm up 10 minutes and then
not even.
And your bots, it's just different.
It's just different. So we brought that because Alex is like, hey, as a previous player, this would be something I would have really loved for my org. No problem. So we brought all our monitors, made sure and I remember we were sitting like for dinner, and I see, I'm not sure if it was Hamza. I think it was Hamza, but it was Hamza or Willett. Someone was there with like 2 or 3 of the Brazilian players, and they were just talking about Call of Duty. And you see these Brazilian guys like so laser focused and passionate about learning. Because to them, these top AMs were like the guys they wanted to be. That was the next step for them.
Yep.
And they were watching and just learning. And if you know Brazilian people, it's like
nicest.
The nicest, humblest, most like hardworking individuals. Like we got this whole Airbnb, and they felt they wanted to all stay in the same room. We had multiple rooms, but they said no, we'll all stay in the same room, cramped up.
Yeah.
Okay. We got snacks for them. Each snack that they would grab, it was, hey, am I allowed to have this? Hey man, this is your home. Whatever you want, you can have. And yeah, it was a phenomenal trip. It was pretty funny because we have Alex over here who I don't think I've ever seen cook a day in my fucking life. We bought eggs because we're like, me and Alex are like the moms and dad, right? We were like cleaning up after them, getting food.
Them up. Okay, guys, 10 a.m. Let's get some breakfast.
Let's get some breakfast in, get some reps in.
None of them eating breakfast. They just get a Red Bull.
No, that's what's funny. Alex would cook
out the door. Bro.
Alex cooked 42 eggs.
Yeah.
The first morning, 42. He's vegan. He doesn't even eat eggs. This man's cooking 42 eggs, and everyone wakes up, time for breakfast. They all drink a Red Bull. Maybe a power bar. Maybe a power bar, and say, okay, we're ready to go for the whole day. For the whole day? Yeah, these Call of Duty players on a different level.
Oh, crackheads, bro.
These kids are crackheads. They literally, all we need, like, not even water. I was like, yo, how do you guys even stay hydrated?
Oh, yeah.
And funny story about water. You want to talk about water?
Oh, my God.
Alex, let him know.
No. I think you got this one.
Listen, in Minnesota.
About Hamza?
Yes, it's about Hamza. You already know what I'm talking about.
I love Hamza, but he's the most spoiled player I've ever met.
Hamza, you're a prince. Never change. Never change. Your standards are up here, man. You keep it. Alex, start it off and I'll finish. I'll hit it out the park.
Well, first of all, we had these water bottles, and we get it straight from the station, and they're like so ice cold, which is usually fine. But these guys, like, if their hands are cold, they can't play, like, whatever.
Oh yeah, we also had we were hoarding hand warmers.
Oh yeah, you were like a drug dealer of hand warmers.
I was literally, I had so many hand warmers in my pocket that at one point our team didn't need any more. So I was going around to other teams. I was like, you need hand warmers? You need hand warmers, dog? Like,
well, we had down to a system. You would like be like, and I'd be like,
yeah.
I was sweating. I'm like, we were rotating, dude. Those hand warmers were But yeah, so we had these ice cold waters, and usually the players would be like drinking them for 2 seconds, but Hamza was like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I need room temperature water. And I looked at Jay, I was like, what do we do? I was like, let's just go to the bathroom, bro. I don't know what to do. So we like book it. This is like mid-match.
No, this is literally mid-match. I had went and got the waters. And they have them in these big like gated, like the big like bins with ice.
Yeah.
And then it was already cold outside, so the waters were almost frozen. Yeah. And so I come over and I give it to Alex, and all of a sudden Alex looks at me. He says, "Yo, we got a problem." I was like, what do you mean we got a problem? They have all their waters. Everyone's here. We're good. We're set. Because, Kaiser would go take bathroom breaks, and we'd have to go like wrangle him down to come back and sit in his seat. Yeah. And at that point, I was like, yo, Kaiser, I'm going with you to the bathroom. Like, I'm going to chaperone you to the fucking bathroom. Yeah. But so he said, we had a problem. So what's going on? He said, Hamza needs room temperature water. I said, what? He said, yeah, he needs. I'm like, Alex, what do you want me to? You want me to? I have a lot of hand warmers. We can stick it with the hand. Alex said, yo, let's go to the bathroom, run under the faucet. Yeah. You can say we're bullshitting. We'll link the video.
No, I'll put up the video. Yeah.
You link the video in some area. You're gonna see me and Alex in the bathroom, 10 minutes running this ice cold water under hot water. Just so
people were like, what the hell are these people doing?
Literally, we had like sponsorships, people walking in and out. What the fuck are these kids doing running the water? And guess what? We sat there until it was just perfect room time. I had like open one a little bit just to taste it a bit. Yeah, it's good for Hamza. Fucking walk back and we're like, Hamza, here's your water.
That was the worst part. He barely drank.
He didn't even drink it. Hamza, you didn't even drink your water that we made room temperature for you. Yeah. But look, but guess what? That's the type of guys we are. We want you to feel like, hey, you're here to worry about one thing. Call of Duty. Yeah. Nothing else. And so that's how we were. And then when we weren't playing Call of Duty or in the event, we would come home and we'd all, hey, you guys want to go play basketball? Yeah, we know basketball.
We would play like 3v3.
Yeah, we bought a basketball. We came back. Fights. We had a time. It was literally we were like a friends and family trip. Yeah. With a little bit of business. And we ended up getting
we got top 6 with the Awakening team, the North American, and then Brazilian was T32, T16. But then the Brazilian players were like so sad that they got T32, and it's like, in our eyes, it's just we're just so happy to bring them in that position
to give them the opportunity. They were in the paper actually in Atlanta. Remember that?
Yes, I do remember that. We took that picture. Yeah.
For us it was more
so nice. They lost. They're like, I'm so sorry. It's just nothing to apologize.
Yeah.
Nothing to apologize about.
They went up to Alex and had like they apologized for failing us, and we were like,
yeah.
Failing us? What? You guys did no such thing. You represented yourself and your country fucking phenomenal. You did everything we asked. Did you do your best? Yeah, we felt like we played best. We could have done better. Okay, so you'll do better next tournament.
Right.
No problem. And we got T6. We came back. Again, roster roulette. Hamza, they kind of, I think.
No, we stuck together for a while because you know why? Because
Kaiser left. Remember, we stayed with Jintroy. Jintroy stayed with us, but Kaiser left.
We started winning a lot of 1Ks right after that.
Yeah,
$1,000.
That's when COVID started. Kind of like COVID was coming ish.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can't really recall. Yeah,
because it wasn't really an in-person. The last in-person event was California, which was too expensive to go.
The problem was there's a LAN event every single weekend, so we kind of needed to pick and choose. Initially, we were like, we're going every weekend.
Yeah.
We're like, oh shit, this is kind of expensive, so we can't do that. But yeah, so and then everything turned into online. But we started winning a lot of 1Ks, and then we got the big one, the big dub. We won how much money was it? It was 10K? No,
I think it was a 25K.
25K. It was 25K. Yeah. Man, that was one of the best highlights of 6 year for me. I was so happy. I was literally watching in my house with my mom and my brother, my brother plays COD, but my mom was screaming louder than me, like, let's go. Has no idea what's going on, but the announcer's like, 6G, win. She's like, ah. I was like, this is like the best moment ever. She was more hyped than me.
That's beautiful.
But yeah, you were hyped too. You guys watched it together because we weren't together at that time.
Yeah, you
were here.
Yeah. And that kind of like took us when everything went online. We like really started focusing on the podcast, and then that's really like when like things started like spiraling a bit because like I was in a career transition. Alex was back and forth from Miami.
We were doing all that. We got the success from that 25K. We got eyeballs on us. People wanted to jump on board, and we got more exposure. And then from that, I don't know about you, I got so excited. I wanted to do more. I want
Yeah.
I want more. I want more. What's the next thing?
But that was our downfall.
Yeah, it was our downfall. So I was like CS:GO, Rainbow Six, which we did pretty well in that. But we, again, like you said initially in this podcast, we lost our identity, went too much, too fast, and then we had a lot of things IRL going on. So
For the gamers who don't watch this, IRL means in real life. Yeah,
that's actually a gamer term.
that's what I'm saying. For the people who are not gamers,
Oh, okay.
IRL means in real life because I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, deadass did not know that. Bro, there's a lot of things I didn't know. Look, I've come a long way. If anyone who ever, like, we're going to start that's one thing me and Alex are going to do because that's just something that we play so much video games and it's an experience. We talk a lot of shit. And especially when we play, like, against each other, we're very competitive and I talk a lot of shit to him.
Yeah.
But I came a long way. I was awful at video games. Not awful, but.
Started beating me in Call of Duty, so I was like, I got to tighten up, Chief.
No, I started beating him the day Hamza gave me his scuff. The day Hamza gave me a scuff,
I think Hamza blessed it, bro.
bro, he blessed me, bro. That was like the best Hanukkah gift I could
I
have.
have like some default controller, bro.
Yeah, Alex plays the claw with his fingers like this.
Go with Hamza, he's blessing my controller.
Yeah, Hamza gave me. He's like, yeah, I have so many scuffs, man. Here's a scuff, and gave me a scuff. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is a whole different. I was like, wow, I can jump and shoot at the same time.
You were playing default before that.
Yes.
Oh, your prayers, yeah.
Prayers. I was like, yo, why is Alex so much better than me? I don't understand. And
Hopping everywhere.
Be hopping around corners. I was like, how do you get your finger from here to here and aim at the same time? And you were like, wait a second, you just play regular? Yeah, but what the fuck? How else am I supposed to play? And then I got a scuff, and Alex showed me the ropes, and yeah, so we're gonna stream. You guys are gonna see that.
GBs, yeah.
GBs, playing Vanguard, playing. I'm trying to get this guy to play Sea of Thieves with me and Hunty.
Some Halo too.
So,
I kind of want to touch up. We just talk a lot about the past, about the future, about the next chapter for Six Gear. What do you want to start it off? The fact that we're going to be in Halo. Do you want to announce the event?
no, you announce it, bro. That's you.
So yeah, we're going to North Carolina to compete in Halo, which I'm very, very excited about. It's going to be our first land back. Hopefully Eli can go this time. It's going to be mid-November, $250,000, open bracket, like the old school MOG days, bro. I'm so excited.
Dude.
So excited.
Halo.
But also Call of Duty, we're of course competing at top amateur again.
Oh, 100%.
So
And I think, but that's it. Like in terms of teams, that's all we're doing. Halo, that's kind of like a big, like Alex's like old connect is like his connection to old video games. I'm not even talking Nintendo 64 and GameCube because obviously like I ran that shit with Zelda, Windbreaker, phenomenal game. But I really got into the first time I ever played like multiplayer. Right, I had my Xbox 360, and Halo 3, right? And I paid my $59 for the Xbox Gold, right? And that was my first time ever playing. Like I talked to someone, I'm like, "Are you real?" Yeah, I'm real. I remember I was in middle school playing Halo 3, and that was my first taste of online multiplayer.
But you know why I like I like Halo, because it's kind of like similar. It's the same kind of community in Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty, it's on the controller. It's kind of the same vibe. I feel like CS:GO and Call of Duty, like they're just polar opposites, like PC. Different community.
Yeah.
So it kind of made sense. And with this, announcement of this $250,000 event in the mid-November, and we could drive to it in North Carolina and just have a really good team out there, get that exposure and really experience it. And on top of that, do Call of Duty. It just kind of made sense. And that's something we want to keep consistent, though. That's kind of what we're going to do different now.
Correct.
Keep consistent, those two things, really focus on that. And again, do the same thing. Have the same players. Hopefully, we play with Hamza again.
I pray. Obviously not Joe because he's doing phenomenal. But hopefully Hamza.
Players, yeah.
Hopefully, like Jin Troy, those guys like
TCM. He won us the
TCM. Oh, I love. Let's get saucy, yo.
Let's get saucy.
Yo. I love TCM.
Yeah. So
I loved Zaptius. I love those guys. Like those are other guys that we made relationships with. Like I don't know. I just feel like bonded with these guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely in the future. And then this podcast, which again, we're gonna have different guests on. Not everyone's gonna be here in person. We're gonna have people that kind of like zoomed in. Hopefully, we'll get some guys in here. Maybe we'll get Joe. I think Joe lived in Florida, right? No, Joe lived in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But we'll get. We haven't even spoken to any of these guys about this. No one even knows this is happening. We're not doing like the hey, stay tuned for the announcement.
That's corny, man.
We're just gonna drop stuff and enjoy and hope the fans enjoy. Whatever 3 fans we have, which is probably my mom, his mom, and my cousin Juanito and Kua. So Listen, if you want to watch. If you don't, you don't. It is what it is. But we're really gonna get like candid about the nitty gritty of esports. We like touched the surface because we've had real like we'll knock back a couple glasses of apple juice on the weekends, and we'd really like just like talk about like.
I want to share our experiences because I feel like it's gonna really help a lot of org owners are coming into the scene.
Oh, 100%.
And if we share our experiences, they could learn from us, learn from our mistakes.
Oh, facts.
And it'll be easier on them to get into the scene because
it's not learn from us like we know everything, because that's the furthest thing from the truth. It's learn from us from a place of humbleness. Like, yo, we made a lot of mistakes that we want you to not make. Like, save yourself, because we did things that we lost some money here, right? But this has never been about money for me and Alex. We came in at this point, bad business model, like keep track. But that's not what it's about for us. It's not about us making money. And that's what when our players, we always like, we took our percentages that we took from the winnings were always lower than every other team because we didn't care. For us, it was about the brand, the family, bringing, like we said at the beginning, people who knew nothing about esports. And this is a place you can come and you can ask those dumb questions. Hey, what does IGL mean? In-game leader. You can come. No, literally, because I didn't know. I'm going to this first event in Minnesota and they're saying things and I'm like, if you watch the vlogs, hey, Alex, what are they talking about?
Rotate for hill?
Yeah.
What hill are we talking about?
And I know a lot of guys who are just like me who love video games, but who never had access because it's kind of like that competitive scene is like a little like, it's a bubble, right? It's the kids who have always been involved in competitive, not like, there's not that bridge of like that casual, plays FIFA, plays 2K, plays COD every now and then, to that competitive wasn't really there. And that was our goal initially, but then we kind of just turned into the usual YouTube, hey, subscribe to the channel, like that thing. And we want to come back to, okay, we're just fucking normal guys.
We know what works, and we wanted to be consistent and only have a couple things. And yeah, I think I'm really, really excited for this podcast. So, like, I want to bring on people like TCM, not TSM. I bring on the whole org. But yeah, TCM, Hamza, all those players. And like I said earlier, I want them to share their experiences.
Facts.
And for players that are coming into scene that look up to them, they can now have a platform to explain to, hey, this is how it works this is what it takes to get to the top.
Facts.
This is what you're going to have to sacrifice, and this is what you should be asking for organizations. And I want to be transparent too. Like we're going to be talking about 6 gear like we talk in a business meeting.
Yeah.
It's going to be here. It's going to be very transparent. So you guys could really relate and understand what goes on behind the scenes and just lay back and just relax and we're also going to have a lot of our local friends.
Enjoy the vibes.
Enjoy the vibes, yeah. 6G vibes. Yeah, I think that's a good wrap up on the first episode.
I'm with it. I'm glad for all the guys who've stuck with us for 6 gear. Thank you, because we took a break and it wasn't fair, right? For everyone who supported us like passionately. And we just left. It wasn't fair. We apologize, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
For the people who are new, welcome. If you like the stuff we do, bro, welcome to the family. Welcome to the 6G family. If you don't, go fuck yourself. No, I'm kidding. If you don't, hey, listen, go to the next team. There's so many great orgs out there that you might like, you might emulate with. You know, Team War, UIU, FaZe Academy, obviously FaZe Clan, 100 Thieves. Those guys are amazing. Optic. There's so many different teams. But we hope you guys can find a home here. The doors are wide open. This podcast, Switching Gears, is all about that. Switching Gears, we'll be talking about things that no one else wants to talk about.
Yeah.
That's about it.
That's it.
And, well, I got to do it.
That little outro, the default outro. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time on the Switching Gears podcast. I'm Jay. This is my co-host, Alex. Signing off.
Thank you, guys. Let's go.